Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you the second version of the automatic egg incubator. That is the project I've been working on in the last year. As you see, the base structure is always the same. It is made from a fridge, but why a fridge? Well, there are two main reasons. The first one, that it is made of plastic. Plastic because it is water resistant, and inside the incubator during the hatching, the humidity level is very high, so I needed something that is water resistant. And secondly, it guarantees very high thermal insulation properties. So if a fridge is able to keep the cold air inside, the same, it is going to be able to keep the warm inside. In fact, as you see, we need to keep almost 37.8 degree constant inside the fridge. And so this is a good solution. About the mechanical part, it remains the same. So we still have 3 levels on which you can store the eggs during the incubation. There is still up there the stepper motor together with the pulley system in order to automatically rotate the eggs. And finally, there is still the 4-bar linkage system together with a back leverage there in order to guarantee that the egg are going to rotate plus minus exactly 90 degrees. Moreover, there is still the homemade encoder, a 3D printed encoder, that guarantees that the trays are not going to exceed plus minus 90 degrees. This is the mechanical aspect and is always the same. On the other end, on that side of the incubator, you see what is completely new in this case. This is the wiring diagram, the wiring scheme. There are completely new electrical components like thermistors, and we have manual switches, relays, independent 12-volt power supply, high tension rack, optodecouples, 2 controllers that are the Arduino and the Raspberry Pi, some components that are completely new with respect to the previous solutions. Starting from the bottom of the wiring scheme, you can see 3 manual switches. They are used for the monitor, for the heater, and also for the fans. They are really useful because, especially during testing procedures, you may want to switch on or off something depending on what you're doing. Then you can see what is really important here, that is a thermostat, a PT100 Vemer automatic thermostat with a PT100 probe for independent temperature measurement. I've inserted this component here as a safety component. I'll show you especially in this small scheme here. As you see, this is the main heater, and in series of for this heater you have a lot of components. This first one is the main switch, so if you want to enable the heat, you have to switch it on. The thermostat here is a yellow component because it performs safety aspects. In particular, it is cabled wired normally closed switch, so if the temperature inside the incubator is below 38.5 degrees Celsius, then it is okay, so the current is able to pass. Otherwise, if for some reasons something will happen and the temperature goes above this level, then it opens the circuits and excludes the main heater of the incubator, so I'm not going to heat it too much. And then there is the relay module that opens and closes the heater. This is commanded by the Arduino in order to set the desired temperature. And finally, that is down there, there is a rheostat that is actually used to adjust, in particular reduce the power of the heater. I had to implement this safety aspect because in the previous incubation I had problems using the temperature sensors from the Arduino. They faulted simultaneously, returning the device disconnected code that is minus 127 degrees Celsius. So for software reason, actually, I continued to heat up the incubator and I reached inside 60 degrees. And so I cooked all the eggs and completely failed everything. So my fault because I did not implement neither hardware or software solutions to avoid that. So this version includes hardware safety components together with software features in order to avoid that. Following up the scheme, you can see the relay module that is connected to independent 12-volt power supply together with a small optodecoupler module. The optodecoupler module is used by the Arduino. The Arduino commands the optodecoupler module, and the optodecoupler module commands the relay module. This chain here is done because in the previous version I had problems in commanding the relay module directly from the Arduino because I had random switch of the Arduino when I was trying to command the relay module. I think that this was due to grounding problems and also maybe flyback currents of this module here, even if they are protected from this side and even if the ground, I think it was done correctly. So when I went for this solution, everything was working and is working correctly, so I decided to keep this scheme, this wiring scheme also now. On that side of the scheme you can see some custom boards. The green one, the first one hosts transistors and resistors, and they are used to command the warning light up there. It is not still working because I had more important work to do in this project, but in the next week, since now it's working, I have time to actually put in service. There are resistive dividers in order to take the 12 volt levels from the limit switches, the one for the plus 90-degree positions, and they are bringing down it to 5 volts. That is a safe signal for the Arduino in order to read it. This is the stepper drive module, and I have added a small manual switch here that enables and disables the motor because there may be cases in which you want to manually move it. And then in the top of the wiring scheme you can see these two connectors. One is for the DHT22 humidity sensor, and this one in front of the wiring scheme here is for the DS18B20 temperature sensors for the Arduino. I have 4 sensors and I completely redesigned the wiring scheme for them. Since in the previous version I made an error and everything, as I told you, was faulty. In this case, I precisely followed the daisy chain wiring scheme together with the Ethernet cable that is recommended in the one wire guide in order to cable correctly the sensors. In this configuration, everything is working correctly until now, so I think I'll go for this solution and I hope it will solve my problem and that everything will work correctly. In the end, you will see up there the two main controllers. This is the Arduino Mega. I went for the Mega because it hosts more I/O ports in order to command more device. I'll show you, this is actually the scheme that I want to show you. So we have the Arduino and we have the Raspberry Pi. Arduino is actually doing the heavy work, let's say, because it fetches temperatures from the 4 sensors, and then it gives commands first to the heater, to the relay, and also to the stepper motor. All these temperatures are sent back to the Raspberry Pi, that is actually the brain of the system, of the incubator, because it runs a Python software, a main Python software that controls all the logic. And moreover, I will show you the folder icon here because it is saving all the temperatures data in order to perform a bit of statistics and temperature analysis, let's say. And moreover, here, this is the reason why I wanted to insert the Raspberry Pi inside the project, is that I have a monitor up there, you can see something, and I have written a GUI, that is a graphical user interface, in order to have like a bit of interaction with my automatic machine. And so this is the scheme. This arrow here shows that the Raspberry Pi, depending on what you want to do and what the machine wants to automatically do, sends command to the Arduino. Arduino reads the command and then decides like if you have to move the stepper motor clockwise or counterclockwise, or if you have to switch on or off the heater, for example. These are main reasons. About I'll show you in detail the interface. There are 3 main sections. There is a section, the main view, that has on the left the online temperatures, let's say something that you can read immediately from the sensors, and also the humidity level. And on the right side of the screen, you can see hysteresis control. Hysteresis control, I have another scheme here. Hysteresis control is actually the kind of control that I am implementing in order to keep the temperature constant at about 37.8 degrees. So we have the hysteresis cycle that works like that. There are 2 limits for the temperature. If the temperature, the current temperature of the incubator is above the higher limit, then the heater switches off. the heater key is still kept off until the temperature reaches the lower level. In this case, it is too cold and the heater is switched on. The temperature goes above the level, starts to increase, and then once you have reached the upper limit, you can switch off again the heater. Ideally, the incubator will live always in this region of the diagram because it is always dancing between these two temperatures here. I don't really like that in the end because you have that the temperature is constantly moving. In fact, in the next version, I'm going to use a PID controller with a different wiring scheme in order to have a constant 37.8 degree temperature, hopefully. But going back to the GUI, you can see that you have the possibility to set the upper and the lower limits in order to control the temperature correctly. You have what is called control value, that is the mean value of the temperature, and Raspberry Pi is doing its computation based on this value. And on the lower part of the screen, you have some forcing. You have the possibility, and this is useful during testing procedure, to force on or off or automatically functioning for the heater control. Then there is another page for the statistics that shows statistics like minimum, mean, and maximum temperature for the incubation. There is quite interesting on and off counters that are those for the relay module, how many times it switched on or off, and moreover there is also the time on, that is for how much time you have heated the incubator. This may be useful for energy consumption statistics. Finally, these two buttons here, plot all days and also plot today temperatures, they are actually the main reason why I have implemented this whole project with the Raspberry Pi, because I wanted to be able to plot all the temperatures that the incubator is showing in this moment, is having during the incubation. So you are able, as you can see, to plot the day-to-day temperatures, and also if you want the all-day temperatures, so the temperatures coming since the beginning of the incubation. Finally, there is the page that is, maybe I have to correct it, that is the motor page, and regards the rotation, the automatic rotation. You can see manual commands up here. You can see force egg turn command, and if you click it, you are going to command the rotation for the egg, a manual rotation. Rotation interval, in this case, I am doing a rotation once every hour. The position, that is clockwise or counterclockwise, reach the status, and finally I'll show you time passed and time to next turn. They're useful because since you're not there, once you arrive, you can see how much time is passed from the previous rotation, and you can also see how much time you need to wait to see the next rotation. Finally, I will tell you something about the software. So there are Python. The Python program is running two main threads. One thread is about the serial communication with handling the serial communication with Arduino, and the other is actually the brain of the system. So it's running everything together with the GUI. I have implemented using ChatGPT a logging system. There are some folders inside the computer in order to exactly track what's happening every moment. So you have information messages, warning alarms, saving messages, alert messages, in order to understand what's happening, and in order to understand what happened, and maybe if you have some fault. In the future, I may want also to implement something like remotely, so maybe the incubator is going to send you an email if something happens. And I also want to tell you something about the automatic recovery feature, because since the incubator has to work for a very long time, about from 21 to 30 days, depending on the kind of eggs you are incubating, there may be for sure situations in which the power will go down. So there may be a blackout or maybe some other reasons for which the incubator will switch off. When you switch on the system, you need to have the program that automatically restarts, and this is one feature. The second feature is that since you have a lot of parameters that you are able to change manually, I want to have the incubator restarting from the exact point where it left off. And so in order to do that, I have implemented like a recovery system. There is a parameter file that hosts all the value. And so when the incubator is switching on, the Python software goes inside this file and fetches all the data and starts from this situation. So if you switch off, like in this case, you will start again in the next morning, let's say, you will start again with 37.7 degree and 36.9 degree. That is the value that you set in the previous month, okay? So in the end, what's next? As I told you, first of all, I'm going to implement IP-ID controller for the temperature with a solid-state relay in order to control the heater, and maybe also an automatic humidity controller together with an automatic level control for the water tank that is at the bottom of the incubator to keep the correct humidity level inside the system. So I thank you for watching. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to like the video so that you can support me and so that I can keep you updated with the hatching that I hope it to be very good in the next day. So thank you for watching the video and see you next. Bye.